Hello, everyone. I am Kay Denault. I'm the Executive Director of Mental Health Association of South Mississippi. And joining us today is Jennifer Kuhn Fink, who is one of our volunteers. And Jennifer started volunteering with us a few years back and has now been nominated to be, her and her husband Charlie are going to be honorees in our Don't Worry, Be Happy event that's coming up soon. So Jennifer, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Jennifer Fink. I live in Biloxi now, but I am from Waco, Texas. I have been married 23 years, and I have a son, Charles, who will be 17 on Saturday. So I have a bachelor's in early childhood development. I was a United States Marine before that, and I taught high school for years in the special ed department.
Oh, wow. Okay, see, I'm already learning some new things about you. So tell us about your experience in the military. How old were you when you joined?
I joined fresh out of high school. I graduated first part of June, and I left in September for the Marine Corps. And it was a really good thing for me. I went to Paris Island, South Carolina. That's where they train females. And from there, I went to Camp Lejeune, North Carolina after I graduated boot camp, and I became a truck driver, which is hilarious considering I hate to drive. So they taught me how to drive standard and how to deal with situations. They also chose me at that school to be the 1-800 Marine commercial voice. So for 2 years, I represented the females in the Marine Corps on the radio. So that was fun. So my main job in the Marine Corps was getting our infantry and our essential personnel to and from places.
Okay. Wow. Thank you for your service so much. We really appreciate that. Now, tell me, Jennifer, you've shared with me that you've since been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. How did you come to realize that was happening?
It was a very pivotal time in my life. 8 years ago, I was driving to Pass Christian High, where I was teaching, and I got halfway there, and I didn't know who I was, where I was, or anything. I had to call my husband. He called 911, and he took me to the VA, and they put me as an inpatient to observe and see what was really going on. And they found that I had been misdiagnosed as major depression when really it was a PTSD disorder. And I have the rarer form, which is complex PTSD. So it's just compounded from life events. So what they did from there, they sent me from the Biloxi VA. They sent me to a 16-week program in Houston VA. And it really all came together, and since then I have gotten so much help. I've been to retreats. I've been to I'm part of the TBI clinic at the VA. I have a great speech team that helped me with memory, and I have a real good team that works all together in all areas of health to help me with my mental health.
Okay, and you said TBI. That's traumatic brain injury?
Yes.
Okay, in case anybody didn't know. Gosh, that must have been scary for you.
It was, and it was life-changing because it also meant that I wasn't fit to be teaching. You know, I didn't feel comfortable being responsible for other people's children if I was having that symptom. So I'm now 100% disabled vet rated through the VA, and it is because of the TBI and PTSD.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for all the help that they've given me. And I mean, my speech therapist, she's awesome, and she walks me through everything. It's been hard work. I mean, you have to use the tools they give you. I use a lot of DBT therapy and a lot of CBT therapy and stuff like that to get through the tough stuff.
Yeah. Well, gosh, it's really good to know that the VA is really looking out for our people, to give back everything that you guys gave and make sure that you're healthy. I'm so happy to hear that you had that experience. Tell us a little bit about your son too.
Oh, he'll be 17 on Saturday. He's driving. He was diagnosed in 7th grade with autism, but we knew beforehand, but he just got the final diagnosis in 7th grade. But we switched school districts and we switched schools, and he is doing so amazing. It's just a matter of finding where you fit, and he fits at Biloxi High now, and he is the state champion for a VOTEC program in construction, and he's a national ranked number 11 in the nation right now. So he's doing real good.
That's fantastic.
He also serves in church every Sunday at 8 p.m. He doesn't miss a Sunday, so this COVID thing has kind of messed him up. But he did get to serve for Good Friday, and he did get to serve this past Sunday on video. So he's doing all the good. We're so proud of him.
I bet you are. Oh, gosh, I can't wait to meet him. He sounds like he's a great kid. Yeah.
He is.
Wonderful. Well, I appreciate that you're sharing these things because, you've said to me that you feel like it's good for people to know that someone who has had some experiences like you have, and look at how great you're doing and your family is doing. I mean, I'm so happy that you agreed to do this so that people get a better understanding.
It's kind of interesting that you say that. It's real important to realize that, like, I have PTSD and issues, and then my son has his own issues. So sometimes we kind of conflict each other, but we've learned how to work through that. And we have a deep history of mental health issues in my family. My mom and my brother both committed suicide. My brother was only 19, and I was 20 when my mother committed suicide 4 weeks after I got married. So mental health is so important to us. That is why my volunteering is so important. I help as many people as I can by telling my story. I used to be ashamed of having mental health issues and all the drama that comes along with that, but I'm not anymore. And I'm a real big voice for veterans, and they're getting help. I've helped them write claims. I've taken veterans to the hospital when they're suicidal. I mean, that's just who I am. And so there's no shame in being someone with mental illness. You would take care of a wound if you're bleeding out. So you need to take care of your mental health as well. And I'm a strong advocate because I've been all realms of it, as someone with PTSD and mental health problems, a parent of someone with autism, and a daughter, someone that committed suicide, and a sister, someone that committed suicide. So it's a lot, but I'm learning, and I'm happy to share my story.
Gosh, I mean, you just seem like such a strong person. You've been through so much. What kind of advice would you give to someone who maybe is experiencing some things and they're not quite sure what to do? What would you suggest for them?
So since we're in a modern time, you can go straight to websites that tell you where the 1-800 the suicide hotline and all that is. That's fixing to change to a 3 number thing. I'm so excited about that. But also, if you're a veteran and you're having these issues, please just contact the mental health department at the VA, and you can set an appointment and they'll do a screening and everything like that. And then if you are not a veteran, I would just suggest calling your doctor first to get a referral, because most insurance make you go that way, and just reach out and make sure you have, in my case, I have a list on my refrigerator of 5 people that my family are to call if something goes wrong, or if I can't get hold of my husband, I call those people. I have a real strong support system. So yeah, I would suggest just having those lines of communication open, but also don't be shut down like, oh my gosh, they're going to put me inpatient. Well, I've been inpatient twice. one 16-week and one 12-week. So it's helped me tremendously, but I had to be open to that. I mean, don't be afraid. And if you need mental health help, I mean, it is what it is, you know?
Right, right. I was reaching for my little card here because you mentioned the hotline, and I have that here. I wanted to say it if I can find it on my list. Here we go. So the veteran crisis hotline, it's the same as the regular suicide hotline, but it'll give you an option. You press 1 for if you're a veteran. But the number for our viewers is 1-800-273-8255. So it's 800-273-8255. And the 8255 spells out talk. But you're right. I saw that too, that they're working on getting a 3-digit number for this. So just like we would call 911, there's going to be a 3-digit number if someone is in a mental health crisis. And I think, because, I mean, good grief, I can't remember this number. If I was having some sort of crisis and I needed to call right now and I had to remember this number, that would be super hard. So I'm very, very happy. Thank you for mentioning.
I've actually met the woman that has designed this, that she's talking to the first lady and they're working together and everything. So that's really exciting. And also I would like everybody to know there's a texting option now. If you don't think that you can talk, you can click on the link on the suicide hotline, and you can do text, and they will talk back and forth to you. So I found that I personally have used that twice. And when you're crying and all whatever, you can't catch your breath, the last thing you want to do is talk to somebody on the phone. Sometimes when this tech age, you can just text.
I think that's great. Yeah,
so I've done that twice.
Fantastic. Good. Thank you. Good information. You also mentioned having a great support system, and I agree that's so important. We do a workshop called Wellness Recovery Action Planning, and it talks about having 5 supporters. And sometimes people say, I don't have, sometimes people don't feel like they have any supporters, but you have to kind of think about it a little more broadly. You know, your doctor is a supporter, things like that. You know, your neighbor might be. And when people hear the word supporter, somebody supports me, you know, they may not realize that you just mean that's somebody that you can depend on, someone you can call. You know, if it's just a friend that you've got an agreement that if I call you and I say these words, I need you to call and get me some help or something like that, you know? I think that's great.
The system that we have. I have a couple of friends here, or actually my husband's cousins, that are real supportive of me. And then I have some of my military friends. So kind of gauging what the situation is who I direct what issue to. So it's been real good. And I'm able to talk about it now without shame and guilt and everything. And I think giving back and helping others has been great.
That's wonderful. I think you're just spot on. Everything that you're doing, you know, going forward. Now you're feeling better, and why not be able to share your story and help other people? Because I mean, I think our country does still have it. It's getting better in some aspects, but a lot of people are afraid to get help. They're afraid that they're going to be labeled in some way, or, you know, deemed to not be as good as somebody else or whatever, or maybe they think their kids are going to get taken away, all kinds of things. But if you get that help and you get better, then, you know, now look at you. You're living proof that things can get way better.
Oh, it's way better. When that first happened, the first 16 day thing, whatever, 16 weeks, whatever. Anyway, I couldn't function at all. I was pale as a ghost. I mean, I didn't know who I was, where I was. It just, all of it had just hit together. But I have to give kudos to the Biloxi VA emergency room doctor. He directed me to a specialist that they don't really use a whole lot. And he's like, she's been misdiagnosed for years. And he really got on the phone and said, this is where she needs to go. This is what's happening. And then he was right. He was right. But it took that one person to listen, you know, and I've got a team of 5 doctors now, and they check in with me periodically. And, you know, through this COVID thing, I've had to miss my appointments, but they check on me, you know.
Yeah. Well, you know, sometimes at Mental Health Association, people will say to us that, you know, I went to this place for help and it didn't work out, or they had me on this particular medicine and I didn't like how it made me feel or whatever. And, you know, just like you're saying, I think that kind of goes along with this is maybe the first thing that you tried might not work, but have the courage to try something else. Because everybody's unique and mental health is so complicated to figure out.
Yeah, and also don't be afraid to use your voice. I was very dissatisfied with one doctor. I didn't feel comfortable with her. I advocated for myself and I was able to get another. So it's real important to be able to advocate. And if you don't feel like you can advocate for yourself, ask your spouse, ask a friend to come with you. But that's what I've done. And I tell them, oh, this medication is not working, or, you know, or I'm sorry, you and I don't click. Okay, may I see another provider? So that's real important to know that you have that right to switch providers if you don't feel comfortable.
Thank you. Well, Jennifer, this has been, I can't wait for people to see this recording. I feel like people will be so empowered from hearing you talk about your own experience. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
You're so welcome.
All right. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
All right. See ya. Bye-bye.